If you've ever wondered what it was like to see something incredibly predictable and without any consequences whatsoever, then you must have seen the greatest Royal Rumble, which really in reality should be called the lamest Royal Rumble,
Yeah.
the shittiest Royal Rumble.
Not really good at all, Royal Rumble.
It was very, very mediocre. No, it was worse than mediocre. It was atrocious. It's easily one of the worst fucking events I've ever
It's
seen.
really bad.
Now, you'd think with a card as stacked as it was in terms of who's facing each other and the idea of a 50-man Royal Rumble, and they teased us. They only showed us like 24 entrants.
Yeah. And they were pimping out the fact that they're going to bring out the best of the best.
Yeah, and lo and behold, that was not the case. That being said, we still sat through it because we had some hopes that it would be at the very least serviceable. And since a lot of the storylines were part of what's going on in the canon right now, I thought at the very least it'll help enhance some of those storylines. But not even that.
Nope.
With the exception of one thing, this was a total fucking waste of time. Bad. But that one thing really saved it. But we'll get to that.
It was great.
Just some things I want to point out about the greatest Royal Rumble. Of course, it took place in Saudi Arabia and Jeddah. And first thing I noticed was this stadium is fucking insanely massive.
Yeah.
All right? Do you not have another stadium? I realize there's a lot of people packed into this, but the setup was fucking horrid.
Baffling, yeah.
Yeah, the floor seats were just like basically reserved seats for people of influence and power, basically. If you're rich as fuck and you got kids, you were sitting in the floor seat area, which wasn't packed. It was just a few seats, basically,
it was like
surrounding the ring.
3 people there.
And the worst part is that clearly a lot of these people didn't give a fuck about what was going on.
Yeah, there's just people sitting there, like, talking the entire time, people taking calls.
People not even looking at the ring. These fucking dudes in chic gear just walking around for no fucking reason. Are they guards? Are they people that are watching? I don't know what the fuck they are. They're just milling around like assholes.
One dude's standing like this because I guess he thinks it's cool.
Yeah, the whole fucking time doing this shit for no damn reason other than trying to be cool and or a villain from a comic book or some shit. I don't understand. Okay, fine. Maybe in some places influence means I want to sit in the best place. But at least watch the fucking shit. What the hell is this, man? And granted, it was not much to watch, but you didn't know that, damn it.
And there was actually people who were into it.
Yeah, the people in the stands.
You have them like 8 miles away from the freaking ring.
Those stands are insanely fucking far away from the ring. And those people were into it and clearly wanted to see the event. Sit those motherfuckers there. Anyway, apparently that wasn't going to happen. And the Titantrons that were set up were remarkably tiny compared to the area that they were in. So I'm just pointing that out. Next time, hey, maybe get a smaller venue because fuck. Another thing I noticed before the event started was that Jim Ross and Jerry Lawler, which were brought in for the pre-show commentary team, they must have been just collecting a fucking paycheck because they didn't give a single flying fuck about the fuck was going on. Jerry Lawler was the worst. At least JR can bullshit because he's that big a pro. And we know Lawler, can at least be funny when he's incompetent. But he wasn't even that. He was just like not even there.
There's bits where they literally tell him to say something and he's just quiet for a long ass time.
And then realizes, oh, it's my turn. And or if he does say something, he says a complete wrong thing. And then, they try to salvage it and it always sucks. It's bad when Booker T's the best guy on the fucking commentary team. Anyway, thankfully that was reserved to the pre-show. Didn't get to see that again. Fucking licked. It was nice to see people in the crowd, the one that was so far away from the ring that you could hardly ever see them. It was nice to see them actually react to people, to things happening in a non-jaded non-American fashion. But we're so used to wrestling, we revolt against what we're supposed to cheer for. So it was kind of like vicariously seeing things through them, but then realizing, man, these people are easily impressed because fuck, this fucking licks.
It was weird to see Cena come out without the John Cena sucks.
I'm sorry. Yeah, the John Cena sucks and Roman Reigns getting some response at first.
Although it was really confusing.
No, the first one was a pop, and then the second one was like, what is that?
Yeah.
And then the third one was like, I guess they like him. I don't know what the fuck was going up there. But anyway, another thing, there was pyro in this. And although it wasn't for everyone, certain big stars got a lot of pyro. The one that got the most pyro, though, was Roman fucking Reigns, who had like a fucking nationwide display of pyro.
Yeah.
Now, some of them had, like some big pyro displays, even outside into the city. But this guy got like extra city shots.
Half the budget went into Roman's pyro. Definitely didn't go into talent.
I'm sure that half of the fucking neighboring nations were like, what the fuck is going on? Are they bombing somebody here? Because fuck. Anyway, so this fucking thing happened.
Yeah, it did.
And I don't know. What did you expect anything out of this? Did you expect it to be fun?
I didn't expect it to be good. I didn't really expect anything big to happen when it comes to like titles and all that shit or storyline wise, because it did seem like it was kind of last minute put together, even though I'm sure it wasn't.
Yeah.
But I at least expected it to be fun. Boy, was I wrong.
Yeah, that's all I expected out of this. It's gonna be fun. The title changes we do see, or retainers we do see, are gonna be what we expect because of what's happening.
Yeah.
And that's it. I expected there to be no consequences, but I expected it to be fun, and I expected the Royal Rumble to be the funnest thing. And yeah, like you, fuck, I was horribly mistaken. Anyway, let's start this bitch off. Let's rattle these bastards off. The first match was between Triple H and Cena. I didn't even realize this match was happening until it happened. I'm sure somewhere along the way I unconsciously registered that this was going to happen. But when it was announced, I was like, oh, yeah? I guess this is happening? Anyway, the results were that fucking Cena won. He went... he gave a Triple H an AA. And then he slingshotted him to a corner and then gave him another AA. And that was that. But did you expect anybody to win in particular? And who was it?
I mean, I thought it was pretty obvious Cena was going to win. But I didn't really care.
Is that who you wanted to win?
Not really.
You didn't care?
I had zero stakes into this. It was just kind of like obviously like a novelty match or whatever.
I'm kind of on the same page as you, man. I didn't care. It's nice to see Trips work. It's nice to see Cena work with Trips. But who gives a shit about this match? I honestly thought Triple H was going to win because I thought the whole fucking thing was, the whole Undertaker thing was to get him off the roster a little bit more so he could go do what he was going to do, but whatever.
But it was obviously like to please people.
Yeah, that's what it was, as evidenced by the entrance. Yeah. And, the people were happy he won. And this is when we realized they're kind of easily impressed because they're doing, like, as the commentators called it, old school stuff. And it was like, no, they're just doing lame stuff.
This was an incredibly bland, boring match.
Yeah, what they referred to as methodical was actually just slow. But anyway, any pros to this match?
No, it ended pretty quick, so that was a pro.
Yeah.
But it was really slow and kind of boring. Nothing really exciting happening until the end. And even then, it was really forgettable. I actually forgot we saw this match until the recap at the end. It wasn't an offensive start to the event, but it wasn't good.
Yeah, same here. No pros for me. Same reaction as you. I'm not even going to list cons because it's that irrelevant a match. Yeah. They didn't do anything wrong. It was just...
That's why I said it's not offensive.
Yeah,
it's just
who gives a fuck?
It's a thing that happened.
But let's continue on the don't give a fuck road with Kalisto versus Cedric Alexander, which they've had a recent match that was apparently super impressive. I can't say, though, because I don't watch 205 Live, even though at this point I probably should.
Yeah.
But I still don't. So the crowd didn't react very much to them either because they probably don't fucking watch it either. And so anyway... The results to this match were that Cedric retained his belt and with a lumbar check to Kalisto, and that was fucking that. So Cedric Alexander still the Cruiserweight Championship. The match itself, let's talk about that. But before we get to that, one problem with this fucking match for me, other than I didn't care about it, which was... Kalisto's insistence on starting up the Lucha chants.
No one even knows what he's saying.
We love Lucha as much as the next guy. In fact, we probably love it more than your average American viewer because we grew up around fucking Lucha and we're Mexican Americans, so that's kind of part of our heritage. just drop it, dude. Nobody's picking up these
not
fucking
working.
chants, especially the 50th time you do it. Anyway, that's out of the way. Kalisto versus Cedric Alexander. Did you want anybody to win? I'm not gonna even ask you if you expected anybody to win, because again, we don't even watch 205 Live. But
I didn't. I mean, again, we don't watch 205 Live, so I have zero stakes into this. So I didn't really care if anybody won.
Same here. Didn't give a fucking shit who won. They're both good workers. They're both excellent workers.
I assumed Cedric was going to retain.
Yeah, but I assumed as well.
Yeah.
So anyway, pros, cons.
I actually kind of liked this match. It was a little faster pace, at least compared to the turtle soup that was the Cena Triple H match. Maybe it was just because it was faster than that I actually enjoyed it. But I remember it being okay. There was some flying stuff. It wasn't great, but it was better than the previous match. So that's a thing. It wasn't great.
Any cons?
It wasn't great.
Okay, that would be a con.
Yeah.
I thought the match was pretty unremarkable considering who these guys are.
Yeah.
But yeah, in comparison to what you'd seen before,
was like a
I
masterpiece.
was like, okay, all right. I wouldn't even say that.
No, but at least it was
just
entertaining.
It was better than the previous match.
Yeah.
So I guess, but didn't care, didn't want to care. Next, the next match was for the Raw Tag Team titles. Now this is a fucking match. Mind you, the whole fucking thing was like, we already know who's going to win basically everything. This was probably the most predictable of all the matches because, I mean, come on, it's the Raw Tag Team titles. The bar is now on SmackDown. Gee, I wonder who's going to win.
This is another reason why this event seems so
Bland?
put together last minute. Like, they didn't even think about that.
No, I see, that's not even the thing. They had to have planned this way in advance. That's the thing. They didn't put any importance in the event. It looks massive. It was staged massively.
But it doesn't feel...
But there was no stakes or consequences to what was going on. It's basically a glorified Raw.
Yeah.
And not even a good Raw. But anyway, the Bar versus the Deleter of Worlds, as they're now being called, apparently. So the commentators let us know 1,000 times. Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt, who are working very well together. But I gotta say, this was a bland match for me.
Well,
they didn't even work well together in this. The Bar just seemed childish at this point. But anyway, did you expect the same as I did?
Yeah. I mean, it was obvious.
So they win, Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt, or the Deleter of Worlds, by the assisted twist of fate, which here was... You haven't seen them wrestle recently
great.
because they're you see the Hulu cut
and
they're edited out of that, which is stupid, WWE. But I have, and they've been working very well together. But even here, they didn't really gel well together. Nothing really looked good, and even the assisted twist of fate didn't look good. So it was an ending. It was who I expected to win. And I wanted them to win, but I guess
wasn't great.
Cons. It happened.
It was a thing. Pros, I guess there was delete chance, so that's good.
Hopefully that'll make them actually pay more attention to this fucking gimmick. But anyway. Next, Jinder Mahal versus Jeff Hardy for the U.S. Championship. Jeff Hardy retains with a twist of fate, followed by a Swanton Bomb. I won't even ask because I think we both knew that Jeff Hardy was going to retain again because the U.S. Championship is on SmackDown.
Yeah. And at that point, it was just like, well, we know what's going to happen. They're pulling no surprises.
Yeah, none. But this match stood out for one reason for me, and that's, or I should say two reasons, and that's because Jeff Hardy proved to be the consummate professional by catching a botch and not selling it when he should have. Jinder was going to basically plop him down on his knees. And they didn't make contact, and Jeff caught it and sold it, and then turned around and continued the match adequately at a good pace, at a good clip. Then a little bit later, Jinder. Well, this is what happened. Jeff Hardy went for a whisper in the wind, missed by like 10 fucking miles.
Yeah.
Jinder
was on the other side of the earth.
Here's the thing. Jinder fucking saw that he missed.
Yeah, he did.
Stops, then flops and sells the hit. And he did this before on this last Raw, too, with Chad Gable. He sees that he didn't fucking get the contact, but he still sells it.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, man.
This made Batista's horrible sell look good.
Yeah, it wasn't good. And I don't even have an opposition to Jinder. I'm not on that bandwagon.
You're a Jinder boy.
I like the idea of Jinder. and I think he can grow. It's not even that. I'm not hopping on that bandwagon. It's the fact that, the fuck, dude, you clearly saw
It
it.
was so bad.
Shit!
And then the commentary team like scrambled to cover it.
Try
It
to
was
cover.
hilarious.
Is that fucking mind game that he's
Yeah.
playing? No, fucker, he fucking licked.
Also, his
Anyway,
nips were humongous.
his nips were puffy as fuck, so clearly he's juicing. Anyway, that's all we're gonna say about that, because
wasn't
again,
great, yeah.
it was exactly what we expected. The next one was Usos versus the Bludgeon Brothers for the Tag Team Championship. The Bludgeon Brothers just won the Tag Team Championship, and they're being pushed hard as this monstrous force. So again, I won't even ask. I'm gonna issue the structure.
It's obvious.
And it was obvious that the Bludgeon Brothers were gonna win. The question is pros and cons.
Pros. Yeah, there was no botches. Cons. Kind of sucked. It was really short. I didn't see the whole match. I saw most of it, though.
Mm-hmm.
And what I saw, it was just kind of whatever. To me, at least.
The pros for me were that it was quick, and really a lot of
Yeah.
these matches should have been this quick. Because, I mean, come on, look at this crap. We know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And then for the company to assume that fans over there were not going to know, they know. And on top of that, there was people that traveled from all over the world to go see this shit over there. They definitely fucking know. So you could have at least done something unpredictable during the match, despite the predictability of it. But no, I mean, the Usos work great. The Bludgeon Brothers look great and work great as well. But does that mean it's a great match? No. Does it mean it's a horrible match? No. It means it's a forgettable fucking match.
It's a thing. It's
It's
one.
a
It's
thing
like the
that
kind of
happened.
see you at Raw.
Yes.
A filler Raw, not even
it's
a good Raw.
You're still dominating match. You're trying to get your shit back match.
Yeah.
There, it happened. So, super forgettable. IC title match was next. This was a ladder match between The Miz, Samoa Joe, Finn Balor, and Seth Rollins. I totally forgot this thing was happening.
Yeah.
Completely fucking forgot. One thing was for sure, two people weren't going to win this, but two people were possibly going to win this, and that's Balor and Seth Rollins. And Rollins already had it and just recently won it and is being pushed to the moon. So guess what happened? Yes, that's right.
kept
Rollins
it.
retained. There was a slight tease that Finn Balor might have gotten it, but it was obvious that he wasn't. Even with that tease, he was reaching for it on the ladder. Fucking Seth Rollins leaps across the fucking universe onto the ladder and rips it out.
Yeah.
Falls from the ladder, no less.
Yeah, it looked pretty
And,
bad.
and he fucking retains. That being said, this was the first match
Yeah.
that was kind of fun. So
It
pros
was-
and cons.
It was the first match that didn't suck massive dinglings. It was pretty fun. I wouldn't say it was an amazing match.
No.
It was pretty fast considering what it was for and stipulation. But at this point, you just kind of wanted matches to end quick, and that met the criteria. So I was like, all right. And it was fun enough. Samoa Joe got to do some cool shit, so that was cool. And I kind of like that little end with freaking Seth Rollins magnetizing to the freaking ladder out of nowhere. It was okay. Yeah, I didn't mind
Yeah,
it.
it was nice, man. Some good bumps with the ladders. Some decent little blows taken. Samoa Joe laying waste to people. Very cool. Using the ladder. Dropping the ladder on Miz's fucking ankle.
Slamming it down.
Yeah, he had just battering rammed what's his face, Finn Balor in the stomach, and in anger he throws the ladder down. Unfortunately, Miz's little hoof was out there clacking on the floor,
Yeah, it was.
and he fucking dropped it on his fucking little hoof.
Breaking little feet.
But yeah, it was pretty cool, man. Everybody got to do something neat. Seth Rollins once again proves that he wants to get on a good side. Not that I hate the guy, it's just
You're never sold on him.
I was never
completely,
sold
yeah.
on him completely. But he's been on a streak as of late, and I'm buying it. It looks good. He looks good, and he should have retained, and that's it. I mean, that's just it. Samoa Joe and Miz obviously weren't going to win it,
Yeah.
so discount them. But it was good to see them actually work in the
Yeah,
match.
but
and
they
do-
weren't just like thrown out.
do heelish shit, and that was neat.
I do want to say that at this point, I thought the event felt long. And
Yes.
we still had 8
80
trillion hours to go.
So at this point, we get some Saudi future WWE
Yeah,
recruits.
this thing.
And they pimp them out to the crowd, and that's nice for that audience.
Yeah.
I'm sure, to get people that represent them in
Complete
the
ass
company.
for anyone else.
But really, we American fans, or just in general fans that are familiar with the product, just know deep down inside that these guys are going to be future, villains in the company because Vince can't get over the idea that anybody that's not American is a fucking bad guy. So that kind of makes me sad, but it was nice to see that, the people happy that they were going to be represented. Then they brought out the Daivari brothers to instigate a fucking war with Iran.
Yeah, man, it was like the whole time I was like, this is a good idea.
Look, this is a very volatile region. Don't come out waving an Iranian fucking flag.
Telling people that they suck massive dinglings.
Yeah, it was, it was Vince, you know what I'm saying?
That's cheap, really cheap heel heat.
Yeah, that's exactly what you'd expect out of Vince with this type of scenario. So, that's what we got. But whatever. Obviously, the Daivaris got beat out of the ring, etc. Nobody cared. Except for, I guess, the Saudi Arabian people who are
now currently arming themselves.
Yeah.
Ready to start nuke wars. That's right. That's what they call them now, nuke wars.
The next one was Nuke War that should have been, and that's AJ versus Shinsuke for the WWE Championship. Again, recently AJ had the championship retained between his battle with Shinsuke at WrestleMania. So the thing is, here there was a slight possibility that there might be a change, but if it's very slight. Did you expect?
No, I thought it was just gonna be another continuation of the current story.
Which is the current story summarized is that Shinsuke is the king of Dong style because apparently his heel version just loves hitting people in the dick.
Yeah, he does.
Which is pretty cool, I gotta say.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm taking it.
I will point this out before we get a little further into it, is that I really like Shinsuke's heel entrance.
Yeah.
It was pretty neat. A little metal mixed into it.
He's doing a little Corey Feldman moves.
Yeah, a little Corey Feldman moves. I like Shinsuke as a heel, man. It's sad that we've resorted to that to make him acceptable to fucking Vince, apparently, because he can't fathom foreigners being anything but heels, but he needed to be a heel at this point because they had fucked him up so bad as a babyface. They didn't find anything for him to do that was cool, and he's like one of the best.
Yeah.
So it was necessary.
Letting him tap into his previous heel successes was good.
This was a good move, and he continues to be a good worker as a heel. That being said, pros and cons to the match.
I didn't mind this match, actually. It was better than their previous encounter. To be fair, the previous encounter kind of stunk, at least in our opinion. So at least it was better on that. It was fine, but again, it was just another little stepping block on the storyline, so it wasn't anything spectacular, but it was okay.
This is a match that I thought was better than the WrestleMania encounter. The problem was the ending. The thing is, here was a match that they could have done something big with. AJ didn't have to lose the belt at this specific moment. It's clear he's going to lose it to Shinsuke somewhere along the way. He didn't have to lose it at this specific moment. But a double countout was a real cop-out. That being said...
In Raw, fine.
Yeah, that being said, the double countout did serve a purpose, and that was to show that AJ is losing himself to his emotions. So that's okay. It's just... It felt like a cop-out because of the context it was surrounded by. Yeah. A bunch of cop-out matches.
Yeah.
So this was just... In the end, despite it being a very good work... It just felt like one of the other matches because there was no
if this was in a Raw, it would actually have been a cool match.
Yeah.
Because it would have been, another stepping block in that storyline, but the fact that it's in a pay-per-view and something that's being pimped out so heavily kind of brings it down a little bit, but it was okay.
Yeah, considering it was okay. Anyway, the next match was this happened. Was Undertaker versus Rusev. Now, we all know the history behind this. Is he not there? Is he going to be there? I personally would have preferred Rusev not to have been in this match because it was clear he was going to lose.
Yeah. That being said, they did find the one place on Earth that didn't cheer Rusev, so that was interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting. And that was weird. I can't even...
There was straight boos when he was hitting Undertaker. It was the boo cheer thing. There was no cheers. They did do the Rusev Day thing, but then they went on to boo him big time.
Mm-hmm. That was interesting. well, anyway, we had Undertaker come back,
Yeah.
looking like a fucking cat lady.
He looked way worse than he did in Mania. He looked good in Mania.
Yeah, here
And-
he was looking flustered.
Yeah.
He was breathing hard by like a second into
Yeah.
the match. That being said, he didn't work sloppy or anything.
No.
But it was very evident that Rusev was holding back
Yeah.
to keep up with him, or rather, so that Undertaker could keep up with Rusev. Uh, pros and cons.
Pros, I guess Taker still has some kind of credibility, yeah. That's pretty much it, though. Cons, he was not great, and it was too long. I know it wasn't long,
It
but
felt long.
but considering what was being portrayed, it was long. Like, it would have benefited Taker more to have
A short
a
match.
scene, yeah, like the one in Mania. But the fact that he went a little longer and he just started getting winded, and again, it was like, oh, it's just an old guy. But, I mean, he looked fine.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of with you on the same thing, on the same page. Pro for me was that Rusev didn't do some heelish shit.
Yeah.
And you know, played the field with a veteran and didn't try to, you know, go to business for himself or anything
Yeah.
like that. So that bodes well for Rusev in the company, because just because Rusev was trying to play the character of Rusev, they got fucking mad at him.
Yeah.
So it was good to see that he played fair with old fucking bastard. He's ancient, but he made him look good, or decent enough anyway. And you know, a big con for me was when Rusev is rolled into the casket.
Oh, yeah.
And he has to adjust himself because clearly he was gonna get the shit slammed on his face. Maybe I'm just nitpicking, but I was
Yeah.
like, ooh.
At this point,
That's a
he
thing.
started noticing things like that.
Yeah, and Aiden English got the same thing too. Anyway, the results of this fucking thing was that he chokeslammed Rusev, kicked him into the casket, then he did a tombstone pile driver on Aiden English, kicked him into the casket.
Super floppy head, by the way.
Yeah, super floppy head pile driver, and he shut the casket on both of them. Then he lumbered away at snail-like speeds.
Yeah.
It's nice to see the Undertaker. It's nice to see that he's not getting beaten to a pulp, but it's also like just sad now.
Yeah.
Not sad in a pathetic way, but just it's sad, man. I mean, just you know, it's time to let go. And unfortunately, they let him go in the bad way, and they're trying to fix that.
Yeah.
But this is not a fix. This is just like, come on, man. Anyway, the next match was another Lesnar versus Reigns fucking bout. This time in a damned cage for the Universal title. And this is where Reigns got 10 hours of fucking pyro all over the globe simultaneously.
And Brock got one little, like, burst. That's it.
Yep.
That's all you get.
So the way this ended was another cop-out in a long list of cop-out endings in this fucking thing. And that is that Lesnar retains. Now, I did think Reigns was going to win
Yeah.
before we saw the event. But once we started seeing the event,
Yeah, it was very obvious.
yeah, he's not
I
gonna
thought he
fucking
wasn't going to win. I thought they were, because they paid so much to freaking Lesnar, I was like, no, they got to keep him around for a while. I didn't think it was going to happen this way, though, and it kind of stunks.
Yeah, so what ended up happening was after the already familiar array of suplexes and Superman punches,
Same match
and
we've seen,
spears, you know, no variety whatsoever. It's for me, it's fun to see Brock Lesnar work. It's not fun for me to see him struggle with Roman Reigns, of all people.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, man. What is he, God?
And like they said in the beginning of this match, we've been seeing this shit for 4 years.
Yeah, and that's another big
old.
problem. And that's why generally and people fucking hate it. I know that's
Yeah.
why you do. But anyway, the fucking ending, after an array of the same garbage, we get Roman Reigns spearing Brock Lesnar through the cage and onto the floor. Now, of course, the stipulation says that whoever gets out of the cage first with both feet on the ground is the winner. Here's the thing. At first glance, it looked cool.
Yeah.
But then we realized, are those zip ties flying all over the place?
Once they replayed, well, no, we noticed it the first time, but when they replayed it, it was like, oh my god, those zip ties. This cage was held together by zip ties.
Yeah, and they didn't even fucking try to hide it.
No.
There was close-ups of Reigns on the floor, zip tie right next to his freaking face, basically. And I was like, all right.
It just looked weak upon other views.
It was something they shouldn't have replayed. Now, later they replayed something that should have been replayed. But anyway, we'll get to that. And so, yeah, at first glance, it looked okay or cool enough. A bump. But, yeah, the kinks showed immediately.
Yeah.
And that's not even the problem. The problem was that Lesnar's feet did not touch the ground first.
No.
His body touched the ground.
His back, specifically.
Yeah, his back specifically. Roman Reigns rolled off of him and his feet touched the ground first. And it was blatantly obvious.
Yeah. They even kind of made a thing with the commentary.
Yeah, and Paul Heyman was like, Lesnar did it, blah, blah, blah. They give it to Lesnar. The commentary, I don't think this was planned.
No.
The commentary seemed genuinely confused.
Yeah.
Clearly, Lesnar was supposed to win, but the way it came out didn't sell that.
No.
And they were trying to cover bad, and it wasn't working.
Nope.
I guess the back counts. No, it doesn't. It does not fucking count.
You've been pimping out the fact that feet count the entire match.
Yeah. It was... Anyway, so that's any pros, because there's... The cons are already listed. Same match, the zip ties, and the fucking ending. What the fuck was that shit? Any pros?
Not really, if I'm going to be honest with you. Roman got his ass beat for a while. I guess that's a pro.
Yeah, that's usually...
Zip ties were hilarious.
That's usually the pro for me, Roman getting beat up. Yeah, man. Same thing. This didn't do it for me. The WrestleMania one did it for me. This was like, all right, man, this just needs to finish. Close the fucking book on that shit. Not going to happen.
No.
But you know what did happen?
Yeah.
The long-anticipated 50-man Royal Rumble. Now, despite all the cop-out shit we had seen up to this moment, no consequences, no surprises at all.
Already super long feeling.
Very long feeling. Pissed off at the fucking audience that's around the ring. Like, seriously, dude, sit the fuck down! Watch that shit!
I was legitimately pissed off with people.
Man. So that's where we are at this point. But even
we haven't eaten. We still haven't eaten.
Yeah, we still haven't eaten. And we're fat, so we need that grub. The point is, even then, I was hopeful for the 50-man match. There was over 25 slots that hadn't been confirmed exactly. So there was hope for something super cool here.
Yeah.
And if we know our Rumbles, we know that they can bring anybody back at any given time.
Yeah.
And it could be a shocker.
I was hoping for Marcus Bagwell, personally.
Yeah, American Male's comeback would have been the best. But, yeah, man. So this was a great bastion of hope for me in a long fucking day. So this is the 50-man Royal Rumble. First entrant. We're going to do it this way. I'm going to say the entrance, and you're going to give me your impression of their performance in the entire Rumble.
I'm going to try to go a little quick because...
Yeah. The first entrant was Daniel Bryan. What is your impression of his performance in the 50-man Rumble?
Really good. I wanted him to win because who doesn't? But he didn't. Spoiler.
Yep. Daniel Bryan in the one spot was... for me, and I told you this at the beginning, I think he's going to win this thing.
It would have been great if he had.
Yeah, that's the thing. It would have been the perfect ending to a shitty-ass day if he had won this. But we'll get to that. His performance was spectacular. It was great. I mean, there's only so much screen time you have of them in the Rumble.
Yeah, there's definitely bits where he kind of disappeared for a while.
But, when he was at the height of the action, when he was the focus of it, you wanted him to win.
Yeah.
And that was good. And it was a natural feeling. It wasn't just because he's back. It was that natural Daniel Bryan underdog feel, and you wanted that. And he actually looked ragged because of the match, which is good. And he did break the record. He broke Rey Mysterio's record. But that ending just made that all the more enraging.
Yeah, it was pointless.
Anyway, second entrant was Dolph Ziggler. Your opinions of his performance in the match?
Dolph Ziggler's a great seller, so he did that thing where he just hangs from the freaking rope 8 trillion times. He's serviceable.
Yeah. I mean,
I like Ziggler, but I mean, whatever.
Yeah, it's what you would expect out of Ziggler. He does well. He does good. He didn't last as long as I hoped he would in the match, considering where he's at right now.
But he lasted pretty long.
Yeah, but he lasted long enough. But yeah, it's the quality work you expect from him, and that's that. The next entrant at number 3 was Sin Cara. I'm not even going to ask you because let me summarize this by he came in and was eliminated immediately by Ziggler.
That being said,
he did perform pretty
stuff.
good. He came in fast and furious.
There was a bit where you said, man, I think he's going in to work for himself. Cut to him being thrown into the stratosphere.
Yeah, because he was doing really good.
He was doing really good, yeah.
And we know that WWE isn't going to get behind him on that.
Nope.
So, I thought he was working for himself, but nope. It was just like, shine for a little and then we'll throw you out, see?
Yeah.
So, he's thrown out. The next person is Curtis Axel. I'm not going to ask because who gives a shit about the Miztourage at this point? It's hard to give a shit about them before. Now it's just who cares. So, his performance was, who cares? Who gives a shit?
My exact reaction was, well, I guess they got to get the turds out right now, early.
Yeah. Little did we know that it was going to be turd central. Anyway, the next one is Mark Henry, who is not a turd. He's actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
I like me, Mark Henry. I guess he didn't retire, huh?
Yeah.
That cheddar, that Saudi Arabian
No
cheddar
shit.
brought him back. But, he did his Mark Henry thing and,
He
was
kind of
strong, I guess.
Yeah, he kind of just stood around for a long time and threw people out.
People popped for him.
Yeah, he's cool, so I didn't mind it.
Yeah, it was. That's the same here. It's the same thing you'd expect from Mark Henry, being a strong guy. And anyway, he eliminated Curtis Axel instantly, so that's a winner in my book. Fucking give that man another Hall of Fame ring for that. Speaking of which, Mike Kanellis came out at number 6, and I'll summarize his fucking impression on us by saying that Mark Henry eliminated him too immediately, instantly. Dude. Give that fucker another Hall of Fame ring.
Yeah, no shit.
Oh man, and then we had the entrance. This is the entrance.
Oh god.
Look, this entrance was the worst, but
It's so bad.
But it gave me hope that we would have some interesting entrance.
Yeah, some variety, yeah.
Thing is, this was the only variety we had.
And it was of the bad kind.
So we got Hiroki Sumi.
You know that famed guy?
You know that fucking sumo guy that I guess is a sumo guy?
Yeah.
That guy came in.
I bet you Vince was like, oh, he's foreign. These people are foreign. They'll know who he is.
I don't know what the fuck this was, dude. So this is what happens. He comes in, his fat ass does his little sumo ritual in front of Mark Henry. Mark Henry looks at him with disdain, as we were. Then immediately throws him the fuck out.
Oh my god, it was so stupid. They did the giant stare down for a long ass time, and then he just gets thrown out. And this was when I was like, oh my god, this is gonna suck.
Yep.
Sumi was a goddamn entrant. He became a running joke throughout.
So Mark Henry earned a fucking extra Hall of Fame ring for throwing out Curtis Axel. He definitely earned an extra one for Mike Kanellis throwing him out. And he definitely earns the crown of the king of the world for fucking throwing out Hiroki fucking Sumi. That sucked, man. Anyway,
so
right after he does that, Henry gets thrown out by Dolph Ziggler and Bryan, which is fine. He did what he came to do. Eliminate Hiroki Sumi. And you know, it was nice to see Mark Henry in the ring. You know, that's yeah, so he gets thrown out. The next guy is number 8, Victor from Ascension, who, let's just say it right here. Who cares? And it's not a slight against the Ascension. It's just that they've been ruined by their time in SmackDown and by their association to Breezango. You just can't take them seriously anymore. And they're fantastic in the ring. It's just, at this point, you need to build them up more before you put them in anything.
Yeah.
So he did good work. It's just you don't care about it.
Yeah.
Anyway, the next entrance was Kofi Kingston. Your impressions of his performance?
I always like Kofi. I think he did good again.
Yeah, it's always fun to see Kofi. You know, high flying acrobatics.
They did extend the thing. You know, the gimmick now that is his thing.
Yeah, this time he was on Xavier Woods' back and prevented himself from falling out of the ring. Thus, it was fun. And it wasn't the greatest one.
No.
But it was better than the pancakes thing. I'll say that.
Yeah.
But anyway, the next entrance was Tony Nese from 205 Live. Now, as we've said, I haven't seen 205 Live. But I got to say, this guy impressed me in his time in the Rumble. He was really agile. He looked good in the ring. And he did some really good spots in this with people. I really
it was a better elimination. Or when he got eliminated, it was hilarious.
Yeah. But we'll get to that. The point is, What did you think about his performance?
He was all right. Again, I didn't know who it was because we don't watch 205 Live. But yeah, he was pretty good. I was expecting him to be Gaga, but he was good.
The next entrance was Dash Wilder. I'm sorry, from the Revival, who, like the Ascension, has already been dragged through the mud and destroyed whatever credibility they had in NXT, which is a shame. What is your impression of his performance? Wait, I'm not even going to let you say that because the next entrance was Hornswoggle and he took Dash Wilder out.
Yeah.
So already the Revival's done. That's it. Horn fucking Swoggle, fat barrel looking ass that's about 3 foot high and apparently 400 pounds according to the commentators, took him out.
And it sucks because when he went in, Revival dude, when he went in, he was doing pretty good. And it was like a Sin Cara situation. Like, oh shit, they're going to let him shine.
Nope.
The Swag throws him out. And I freaking hate Vince.
Fucking Hornswoggle, dude. Anyways, Hornswoggle's fat fucking ass is wobbling around the fucking ring.
Unfortunately, he doesn't break his knees. WrestleMania style.
The thing is, the fucking Swoggle is taken out by Tony Nese, which only ingratiated me more to Tony Nese. So that was a thing that happened. And he's fucking fat, by the way. He's Hornswoggle. And that's coming from us.
Yeah.
The next entrance, and this is... For you, it was when that you were like, this is going to suck Hiroki Sumi. Hiroki Sumi injected some hope in me that they would introduce interesting people. This is where my hope died. Entrant number 13 was Primo from the fucking Colognes.
Yeah.
Who immediately botches an off-the-rope somersault.
Yeah, he was botch central, dude.
He fucking sucked every second. And I should be cheering for this guy because he's Latin American and it's nice to have representation. Fuck this guy, man. Fucking sucked.
Colons.
It was the word. Yeah, they shouldn't be the Colognes. They should be the Colons because they fucking suck my toot hole dry. Anyway, somebody that doesn't suck toot holes is Xavier Woods, and he came out next, and that's when we had the Kofi Kingston, recovery from falling out of the ring. At this point, Tony Nese, who I loved for taking out Hornswoggle, was taken out by the New Day in a very hilarious fashion, like you said.
It was pretty great.
Go ahead and tell us about that.
They start dancing. Nese specifically wants to get in good with the New Day, I guess, and starts dancing, doing a little Link from Red and Link dance. And they join in. They're dancing, and then they kind of grab him and just throw him over. It was hilarious.
It was a pretty hilarious exit for Tony Nese. I really enjoyed that. Had a little chuckle and was like, gee, I wish I could have had more chuckles during this thing instead of wanting to pull my hair out.
Yeah.
Anyway, the next entrance made me pull my hair out because it was Bo Dallas. And I like Bo Dallas, but fuck, man. The Miztourage is just...
You got to build them up before they do anything.
Who cares at this point? So he came in, whatever. Our impressions, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
The next guy, of course, is a classic. We all love him. That's Kurt Angle. And your impressions of his performance?
I thought he did really good in this.
Yeah.
He got to do a lot of... I mean, he just did his angling things, you know.
Lots of suplexes, the angle slams.
Did what he's good at. He looked good. I wish they would let him wrestle a little more. But at the same time, I like that they bring him out for like special things. Because it makes it feel more special. So that's cool.
Yeah, man, I really liked Angle in this. He looked good, like you said, and everything was top notch. I especially liked that he took out Bo and Primo.
Yeah, there's a bit with Kurt Angle and Daniel Bryan where they kind of go at it for a little bit.
Yeah, that was cool.
It would be cool to see them in a full match.
I'll tell you what, I would prefer Kurt Angle versus Daniel Bryan with no story as to why.
Yeah.
Instead of this cast storyline they got going on.
Oh, we're gonna get to that though.
Thing is, Kurt Angle comes in, takes out Bo, Primo, and thus becomes a god in my eyes. And he also, unfortunately, takes out Dolph Ziggler at this point, which was too soon for me, but whatever. I mean, we kind of expect them to fuck Dolph Ziggler over at this point. The next entrance was Scott Dawson from The Revival, who I'm sure Vince hates because he's a little fat. But your impressions of him, same as... Yeah, I mean, he's buried, man.
I'm so freaking disappointed because I like The Revival. Like, even if you don't like the characters, which I understand because they were kind of douchebags in NXT, they were so good in the ring.
Yeah.
The matches with them and then DIY and freaking Authors of Pain were the freaking badass. And now they're dead. Swoggle.
Yeah. Done. Yeah, and Scott Dawson performed well enough with what time he had there.
Yeah.
But, again, his partner just got taken up by Hornswoggle, man.
Yeah.
What?
I wish they would have gone to SmackDown because maybe we would have seen them do something. But no,
I don't know what's going on. Anyway, the next entrant is Goldust. And Goldust is a consummate professional. We'll just skip that. You get Goldust when you get Goldust.
Fine, yeah.
He's good, and he does his job, which is be a filler guy. And that's what you expect out of Goldust. So, cool. The next guy is Connor from the Ascension. Same reaction.
Yeah. Although I did have an alternate, additional reaction is, hey, he's not wearing his face paint. That's it!
So that's a thing.
Yeah.
And again, they're good. It's just, they're going through the revival thing where it's like, serious? Anyway, the next entrance was Elias, who took out Connor, by the way, and the New Day. And Elias has been getting a little push. He's definitely over as fuck. Impressions of his performance in this?
I'm baffled by how Elias was able to get himself over because he was so not over in NXT.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of digging it. And yeah, he's continued doing his thing. He looked pretty good, and he lasted surprisingly long.
Yeah, he did. I actually thought he was going to go all the way to the end at one point, and I would have been fine with it. And I think he's deserving of his push. That he brought himself out from being hated to being
It wasn't
beloved.
even heel heat. It was just freaking heat.
It was just, we hate you. This
We're
sucks.
Gonna beat you all back.
Now he's learned to work that hate into the type of hate that we love to aim at the heels.
Yeah.
And he's good at it. He looks good in the ring. He definitely cuts a figure. And I liked his performance in this as well. Unfortunately, next is a guy I fucking hate. Oh my god. Luke Gallows at number 21. What's your takeaway of his performance in this?
He sucks massive ding-dongs. And I'm not even talking about the performance. I'm talking just in general. Performance-wise, I didn't even notice him until he got thrown out.
Me either.
He was just a filler.
And look, I realize that Gallows and Anderson have done good work outside of the WWE.
Doesn't matter. They suck now.
Yeah, the thing is, their characters are fucking awful in WWE. They're terrible, and they're being buried as much as the Ascension and Revival. So they just suck to me.
Yeah.
And Gallows, I just hate how his character is. I hate the nerd thing, and I hate his face and his pants. Anyway, he comes in. I don't care. And like you, I didn't notice until he was out of there. Anyway, at this point, Elias takes out Angle, unfortunately. But again, nice to see Angle. And next comes in at number 22, Rhino, a.k.a. the human water boiler, I guess. Another. He's basically Hornswoggle with long legs. Yeah. Only he doesn't suck like Hornswoggle. I like Rhino, but I mean, it's clear the guys. I mean,
fat.
His best days are behind him. Yeah. He can still wrestle, obviously. It's just, it's like, we know he's not going to win, so why put him in this?
Yeah.
And this is the big problem with this. At this point, we're at number 22, and we're realizing this is all filler people.
Yeah.
There's not any surprises. There's not even any big, good names here, with the exception of a few. We're in for a long fucking ride at this point. So we're like, fuck.
And the entrances are coming in quick.
Yeah.
But it still feels like, oh my god.
It still feels like we've entered a house of horrors.
Yeah. And it was better than the one WWE freaking... No, it was actually worse.
It was actually worse. Speaking of which, the next one is Drew Gulak. And not that Drew Gulak sucks. It's just that, again, it's personally for us, we haven't seen the 205 Live thing, so that affected our response.
Yeah.
And he was fine. He was fine in the ring during his time in the Rumble, I think. You'll agree with me?
He's just a filler, though.
But that's the problem.
Yeah.
He's a fucking filler in this. And you're like, this is not a good way to use these people in this sub-promotion you got going. This is not a good way to promote them, to make them filler.
I will say that, once 205 guys started coming in, 205 Live guys started coming in more consistently, I was like, oh my god, they're scrapping the bottom of the barrel. And that's nothing against them. It's just they're going to use every little work guy, worker.
Instead of bringing in talent that hasn't been around for a while, they're going to just use what they have available. This is what became obvious.
Yeah.
Now, at this point, I don't even know how this got started. Maybe you'll remember. But we were like, wouldn't it be great if Otis Dojovic came in? Dojovic from Heavy Machinery. And we were like, that would be the best, dude.
We're bored now. I forgot why we thought
yeah, and I said, if Otis came in, this would save this whole Rumble.
Yeah.
And like fucking some miracle out of the sky, the Heavy Machinery music hits, and I'm like, what? and it registers, and I turn around and I raise my hand slowly.
I'm looking for freaking Otis gifts, and I'm like,
yeah, you're looking for Otis gifts, and it was like it was meant to happen. But we don't get Otis, we get Tucker Knight. And of course, we're fine with Tucker Knight. It's just Otis really takes the fucking spotlight.
yeah. But we were like, holy shit, he might come.
Yeah, well, we're like, you can't just have one and not have the other. And then that made me realize, does that mean the other Cologne is going to come in? Because that would suck. Thankfully, that didn't happen. But unfortunately, it also meant that Otis never came in.
Yeah.
So that fucking sucked. But we did get Tucker Knight. Your impressions of his performance.
Unfortunately, he didn't really do much. He just kind of got beat up for a while. He was good. He got some good stuff in. But we've seen Heavy Machinery do badass shit, and he didn't ever reach that.
Yeah. He was fine. He was serviceable. He did what he did. It would have been nice to see him in there with Otis and do their thing. But we didn't get that. He did take out Drew Gulak, so that's a fucking thing. Anyway, next at number 25 was Bobby Roode, and we're kind of down on Bobby Roode because of the way he's being handled, especially the babyface thing. But I don't know about you. Maybe this will summarize it. I didn't even notice when he did anything at all.
He was just, again, somehow, this is one of your big guys in SmackDown, and yet, or I guess now Raw, he's in Raw now, right? Mm-hmm. Whatever he's on.
Yeah.
One of your big guys, and you don't even notice him.
Yeah, totally unnoticeable. That being said, I think he took out Goldust. Somebody took out Goldust.
Look, we looked away for a millisecond,
and Goldust just fell.
I looked up, and it looked like Goldust had ripped his suit or something, and he just fell.
We don't know what happened with Goldust. Don't quote us on that. Maybe Bobby Roode took him out. I don't know. What we do know is that right after that, Roode takes out Scott Dawson. So once again, the Revival does nothing. And from that point forward, like I said, I just forgot Roode was even in there until eventually he was taken out. Anyway, the next guy. At this point, it's verified. We're just going to get filler up the ass, and it's Fandango. So, I won't even ask you what you thought of his performance, because who gives a fuck. Although, he did have a funny bit with what's the stupid name?
Tyler Breeze.
Tyler Breeze. And that was fine, and maybe it was a weird place to do that, because there's kind of like a homoerotic level to their characters.
Yeah.
So, it was a weird place to do that.
Yeah.
But, anyway... Whatever. I don't care. Fandango. Anyway. Next guy is Chad Gable, who I do like, and I'm glad that he's on his own now. Because I don't think Shelton Benjamin and him were gelling well as a team.
Yeah, it was just kind of weird.
And I'm glad that they're kind of turning him babyface. So I'm glad about that. But how did he perform in this, according to you?
From what I remember, he was fine.
Yeah.
But that's it.
Yeah. And you'd expect them to do a little bit more with him, considering that apparently he's going to get a little push.
He was just kind of there.
He was just kind of there. But, he didn't do anything particularly bad or offensive. So, that's a thing. Next came the man, the legend, Rey Mysterio. And here's an example of first time's a charm, second time might be a bit too much. And it's not that he sucked. Don't get me wrong.
No.
There's hardly ever a time when Rey Mysterio sucks. In fact, I can't even think of one time he sucked. The thing is, when you make a good impression, but then you go back for that second impression, you think you got it all figured out, but it just kind of falls flat? That's kind of how I felt about this. Again, he's an excellent worker, but I don't know if you get what I'm getting at. But anyway, what was your impression of Rey?
I mean, I'm not going to lie. Up to this point, everybody has kind of sucked weenies. So he did kind of stick out just because he was one of those surprise entrants that they had ruined already because you knew he was going to be there. But I mean, he was flying around. That's kind of cool. So yeah, he was.
It wasn't
okay.
It wasn't as impacting an entrance as it was at the previous Rumble.
Yeah.
His suit was terrible.
His suit sucked.
That is the word. And look, he comes from Mexico and he's wrestled in Mexico. We're used to flashy suits that suck.
But he was wearing the colors of.
He was wearing the colors of the flag, and it didn't look good. It looked like a rip-off
Power Ranger
wax wrestler that you buy at a swap meet.
Yeah.
But I mean, obviously, cool. Like I said, he never does any bad work. It was good to see him. He looks as great as he's ever done. It's just I thought, I mean, if they're gonna use them, they need to go in whole hog and convince him to come over and be something. Because this just meant nothing. Oh, he's here. We know he's gonna be gone the next day. So whatever.
That being said, his performance was good.
Yes. He did take out Gallows. So again, I already love Ray. Always love Ray. But that alone makes me want to hug the man. Next comes an asshole that I fucking hate, and that's Mojo Rawley. He does take out Fandango immediately, so that's a plus. But on the other end of the spectrum, it's Mojo Rawley. So I think he sucks as a character. I think he sucks as a wrestler. I mean, he's fine athletically, but his character sucks so bad that his wrestling is affected. Is it even worth asking you?
No.
Mojo sucks. Next, Tyler Breeze. We already kind of said that with Fandango. Mojo takes him out too, by the way, and they have that weird kind of. Mojo pushes Breeze off the apron. Fandango catches him. It's kind of like a weird, funny, gay moment.
Yeah.
He puts him back on the apron, but then he's pushed off anyway, so nobody gave a fuck. Big E comes out next, takes out Tucker Knight, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
But then I was like, maybe that'll bring Otis in. Alas, that didn't happen. Big E, what'd you think of Big E?
Big E was good. Big E's always good.
Yeah, Big E's always good.
He picked up Tucker Knight, which was insane.
Mm-hmm.
And he dropped him, he did the big ending or whatever. And I was like, ooh, that must have hurt his arm because freaking Tucker's entire boat ice fell on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, Big E, I have no complaints, dude.
Never had any?
Never
Still
will.
don't.
Yeah.
Next was Anderson. Just refer to our Gallows review.
Except add super pointless to it.
I will say this. I like Anderson a lot more. I wish he was on his own and given a different gimmick. Because I think he would work. He's really good in the ring. It's just Gallows. Woo. Anyway, Apollo Crews comes out next, and that's number 33. And fuck, man, he's part of Titus Worldwide. What else can you say? He sucks. He doesn't suck. It's just being with Titus makes him suck.
Yeah.
And of course, his mic skills suck. But you don't need mic skills to stand out in the Royal Rumble. He's athletic. So he looks good, but then you remember that he's Apollo Crews, so who gives a shit? Same? Yeah.
You know why I'm laughing.
Gable at this point is taken out. I didn't notice exactly how. I was talking to you at that particular moment. I think Apollo took him out. I don't know, but he was taken out at this point. Then next comes my boy. This was unexpected.
Yeah.
Roderick Strong. I love Roderick Strong. Funny considering that it's not that I hated him. I hated his original character.
Very bland as
NXT because it didn't exist. But once they give him character, that plus his amazing skill in the ring, thumbs up. He comes in. He's breaking backs left and right. I'm like, fuck, I want this guy to win. He injected life into me.
Yeah.
At this point, I'm dead inside. And, I knew he wasn't going to win, obviously, but I was like, yeah, man. And I think even the commentators were genuine in their statement. Man, I hope he wins. Fuck yeah, because everything else sucks so far. Roderick Strong, I love him. I loved him in this while he was there. What'd you think?
Yeah, he was good. He broke my back and woke me up.
That was good.
He did try to, who was it that he tried to get out? Rhino?
Yeah.
Or no, he was back breaking everybody. And then he went up to Rhino and I was like, ooh, he's going to try that. But no. Roddy freaking great.
He did take out Rhino, so that's good. The next guy is RKO. And look, I appreciate RKO's time.
Why do you always call him RKO?
Yeah, I know. Why do I? Randy Orton. Anyway, I appreciate his time at the height of his career. And some would say he's still at a high. I just think he's overstayed his welcome. It's time for him to go away for a while and then come back. That being said, in this Rumble, I was like,
you were digging in.
I was like, thank you. Thank you for coming in, Randy Orton. I know I usually fucking slight you. You're a great worker, but I do slight you. Thank you for coming in. Yes! And you know why? Because I knew he was going to take motherfuckers out left and right.
And he did.
Oh, fuck yeah, he did. He took out Mojo. Yay! He took out Anderson. Yay! And he took out Apollo. Yay! That's 3 fucking Hall of Fame rings he's earned right there.
I like how your criteria for Hall of Fame rings is getting people that you hate out of this
Fuck
shitty
yeah, man.
event.
Fucking earned it with that shit. Unfortunately, they get taken out and the next person is Heath Slater. Now, I like Slater and I like Rhino and they're funny team together. But let's face it, this is another filler spot.
Filler.
So that summarizes our impression. Filler. Speaking of filler.
Oh my god!
Next comes a guy. Look, we watch NXT. And
We're hardcore NXT fans.
we did miss the recent last 2 episodes,
Yeah.
but I don't think this guy came out in the last 2 episodes. And if he did, forgive us. You know, we had some stuff come up, and we haven't watched the last 2 episodes. But again, I don't think he came out during those 2 episodes. And if he's come out before, we've forgotten completely about him. I don't know who the fuck this guy is. His name is Baba Tunde. And the whole thing is he's big.
That's it.
That's it.
When he came out and they showed him, I thought he was freaking Tyrus.
Yeah, he looks like a wimpy ass Tyrus.
And he came out and was big.
And that's it.
And that's it. And then they said he's from NXT, and we were like, what?
He is?
How?
So he comes out, you know, does the big man thing and kind of, you know, throws his weight around, but then goes into the background quickly as fuck. So who gives a shit about Baba Tunde?
At this point, it was 1,000% cemented this thing was going to suck massive ding-dongs.
Yeah. If Hiroki Sumi didn't warn us about that, Baba fucking Tunde did. Next, the worst, even worse than fucking Sumi or Tunde or fucking Hornswoggle, Boring Corbin comes out. And I hate Boring Corbin because he's boring and he fucking sucks. Massive dicks in his free time. Shit. Anyway, Boring did do a couple of good things. Nope, he didn't. He just sucked. He took out Rude, which I guess is fine because, like I said, I just didn't even notice he was there anymore at this point. But he did one thing that pissed me off. I already hated that he was in there. He did 2 things that pissed me off. One, he came in, and all of a sudden he's fucking God.
Yeah.
He's destroying people left and right.
And they are freaking building him up. The commentary's sucking his balding cock.
So I'm and granted in wrestling, from one moment to the next, you're just expected to believe stuff.
Yeah.
But this guy has been dragged through the mud and made to look like a fool. P.S. that Money in the Bank thing. Fuck. On top of that, I hate him. And I'm expected to believe all of a sudden he's this super badass.
Yeah.
You gotta build that shit up with this specific guy because he sucks. So anyway, he takes out Rude, and the second thing he does that I hate, he takes out Roddy. Roderick Strong is out of the running. I knew he wasn't going to win, but fuck me, man.
Baron Corbin.
Baron fucking Corbin. So anyway, Boring Corbin, our impression is simultaneous, and we're united in our stand against him. Next is Tetas. Right here, look. This fucking thing was like about 6 hours long or whatever. And we hated every second of it. But this one moment is the single best thing that has ever happened in wrestling. Any promotion in any part of the world, this moment is the single best fucking moment in wrestling history ever. So the next entrant is fucking Tetas, aka Titus O'Neil, the leader of Titus Worldwide, which fucking sucks. And he comes out trying to be all cool and shit, which we already know he's not. He's a piece of crap. And just as he's getting to the level part where the ramp meets the floor, he trips.
And we didn't notice what happened. He was instantly
We noticed. Well, I noticed. I know you noticed too. It's just it happened so quick that we questioned what we saw.
Yeah, it's like, why is he under the...
Yeah, so he comes down the ramp. The moment he hits that level area, his shoe catches, and he fucking falls and careens forward, face first, skids under the ring. Like it just was a fluid motion. Boom, he's under the ring. Completely under the ring. Just his little feet sticking out. And yeah, like you said, at that point, we're like, what? And I literally turn around and ask you, did he just fall?
And I'm like, no.
And then Corey Graves says, did he just fall? We look, and they're replaying this shit 24/7.
They replayed that baby at least 7 times.
Fuck, man.
And it was the only thing we could focus on for the next, 80 hours. I almost died of laughter during this shit.
This is the best fucking thing I've seen, man. Usually botches will either make me grimace and or groan and or laugh. This made me die of laughter, and I'm back from the dead to tell you that this is totally worth dying for again.
This is the funniest.
Fuck. Titus falling flat on his face, sliding face first under the ring, up to his fucking ankles is the best fucking thing. And then what's better about that is he gets up like nothing happened, gets in the ring. He's not going to live this
you
down.
can totally see it in his face. Though.
Yeah,
He's
he
like,
knew.
Oh, man.
He knew.
Cut to the freaking commentary team laughing at his ass.
Man, they replayed that shit so much.
It was like us, where they were talking about that only for the next couple minutes and replaying it every millisecond of the earth. It was hilarious.
What was the greatest moment ever in the history of wrestling? Served a great purpose because the next entrance was Don Matha from NXT, I guess. And we were like, who? And thankfully we had Titus to laugh about.
Yeah.
So our impressions of Don Matha is, thank you, Titus, for falling on your fucking face because it made us laugh through that shit. Anyway, Braun Strowman comes out next at number 41. And I'm glad he did because I knew he was going to take out a lot of people. And of course, Braun is cool. So impressions of his performance in this?
He was Braun.
Yeah, Braun is Braun.
I don't think it was particularly great or anything.
Yeah, I definitely
some good stuff, but
I definitely didn't expect what happened.
Yeah,
we'll get there with Braun, but he's Braun, and you expect him to be this big monster, and he does what he does. And in a Rumble, there's only so much he can do.
Yeah, that's the thing.
So that's the thing. It's kind of Braun on a leash.
Yeah.
So Braun on a leash is not as cool as Braun unhinged, though he did get a few cool spots, but it's not the Braun, whole hog Braun that we love. Anyway, he does take out Baba fucking Tunde.
You know, after that guy who's real.
And you know what? If Baba Tunde is a thing, which apparently he is, they made him face off against Braun, and they point out that he's bigger than Braun. And Braun just takes him out. So right there, Baba Tunde's done.
Yep.
You can't even get over on height, and you suck. That's it for Baba Tunde. He takes out Don Matha. I don't even give a shit. Takes him real. Fucking out. Takes out Big E, but that's appropriate. Big man to take out a big man. And he takes out Heath Slater, which, honestly, how the fuck was he still there at that point?
Yeah.
But, it's not like you didn't expect him to win because he's Heath Slater. But anyway, the next guy is Ty Dillinger. And Ty Dillinger's just getting wronged left and right, man. That's it. You didn't even give him the 10 spot.
I know.
You could have at least done that.
Took that away from him.
So Ty Dillinger comes out. He's number 42. At this point, we know we love Ty Dillinger, but he didn't do anything in this. Yeah. So that's our impression of that. At this point, Braun takes out Tetas, a.k.a. Titus.
a.k.a. Tripas.
I wish he would have got him and launched him out of the ring, and he would have slid up the ramp into the fucking exit. Somehow he makes that corner, and his little feet sticking out.
He slides down again, though, and they just replay it.
Oh, man. Anyways, Tetas is out. Thank you for the laughs, Tetas. He takes out...
Best thing he's ever done.
Yeah, he takes out Ty Dillinger at this point. Also, and unfortunately... Boring Corbin takes out fucking Rey Mysterio at this point. Yeah. Also, so that fucking sucks. Not only is he being all of a sudden booked as his badass, but he takes out an actual badass who's tiny as fuck. Just had to point that out. Yeah. Anyway, Randy Orton is taken out by Elias at this point. This was a kind of a chain of events. Like one took out the other, took out the other.
Really quick.
So basically, a bunch of people eliminated a bunch of other people, so they're all out. At this point, Kurt Hawkins comes out, number 48.
No one cares.
I'm sorry, number 48, number 43. Nobody, your impression of him is, I think, everybody's impression of him.
Let him go.
Yeah, let him go. You're wasting the man's time, basically, and our time. Yeah. We know he's not going to win. So he runs away. Strowman takes him. This was kind of funny. Yeah. He runs away because he knows he's going to face Strowman. Strowman gets out, takes him back to the ring, and then launches him out. So that was worth it for that, I guess. But, Kurt Hawkins.
Yeah.
Next is Lashley.
I want to say that this last 10, it was especially dreadful because with every entrance, you're like, yeah, they're not going to do anything cool.
Yeah, it's just done. We're no hope for anything cool at all at this point. Lashley, let me summarize my impressions of his performance in this. He didn't get to do much.
Yeah.
And I'm afraid that now he will never get to do much.
Yeah.
Because of something that happened with him and Cass. He was... I forgot what the fucking move is. When he holds up the person's...
Yeah, it was bad.
His display of strength move. And for some reason, it's escaping my mind right now.
It's like what Goldberg does. Hold someone up.
He's holding Cass up. Or he's gonna do it with Cass. The thing is, Cass is too big and heavy. So he drops him or I should say, lets him down the first time, goes for the scoop up again, and he can't hold him. And then he drops him on his fucking head.
Yeah.
Like a pile driver, only in that position. And it didn't look like anything but a botch.
Yeah.
And it looked... He dropped the fucking guy on his head.
Yeah.
And I can't really blame either of them, because Cass's character is really sucking.
Honestly, I think it was Cass's fault, because he's known for putting an insane amount of lube on him. And I think it was a grip issue.
There is that. There is that to consider. And a lot of that... There's also this to consider. Yes, you need that fucking grip. And on top of that, the person you're working with, the person that Lashley's raising up,
they need to do their own thing.
Yeah, they need to hold themselves
up, Cass
too.
was having a really hard time keeping his legs up.
Yep. So, a combination of these two factors ended up on Cass getting dropped on his damn dome.
Because we know Lashley can do shit like that. He's super freaking strong.
So, I'm kind of afraid now that Vince or someone in the back is going to be like, seriously, dude? I mean, we've seen people get buried immediately, like Taz with the Kurt Angle thing, etc. You know, people are coming with big heat from the indies or other work, and then they do this one fucked up thing.
And that's it.
So I hope this doesn't spell the end of Lashley, because fuck, they hardly are doing anything with him already. I don't know what the fuck. But he didn't get to do much in this match. But that stood out as like, holy fuck.
We'll get back to Cass because...
Yeah, that's the thing. Anyway, Lashley does take out Elias, so that was Elias' end of the run. He had a good run in this, and as we said before, that was pretty good. Next comes fucking...
Oh my... This was freaking...
At number 45 comes the Great Khali with a fucking pop from like heaven somehow.
Yeah.
Like he's the greatest thing on earth. Of course he's not. He's fucking shit.
It was hilarious though. At this point, he's taking forever to get to the freaking thing. You say something about him lumbering. At this exact time, Corey Graves goes, Michael Cole says something about him lumbering, and Corey Graves goes, well, that's all he can do is lumber.
And fuck, isn't he right, man? Usually we disagree with Corey, but fuck. That is all he could fucking do. Lumber like an idiot.
Freaking pathetic.
Oh, I'm sorry. He also does his chop thing.
Yeah.
So that's what he did, and he took out Lashley. So I guess that's a thing.
Yeah.
And he took out Braun, and for a second, I'm sorry, Braun. For a second there, it looked like they were gonna go for a bunch of big people facing off each other. But yeah, sort of, I guess. Anyway, fucking, he's taken out immediately.
Yeah.
So
because he can't move.
So
pointless.
I don't know what the fuck, but anyway, it's good that he's taken out, and the right people took him out, which is the big guys.
Still pointless.
Lashley and Braun took him out, and you're, but at the same time, is he a threat? No, he's just a big fucking idiot. Anyway, whatever, that happened. Forget that Khali was in this thing. Anyway, whatever. The next number 46 is somebody that matters for once, and that's KO, Kevin Owens. What you think?
He was all right. It's just the thing about Rumbles is that it's people on leashes, like you said. And he didn't really do anything spectacular, but, I mean, he's Kevin Owens. He's always good.
I think he's the one that had the most storyline told in this, because...
Yeah, that's true.
He did have a lot of, irons in the fire, so to speak. You know, he had the Jericho thing, the hanging Chad of Jericho, because of the friendship breaking up. And, of course, when Shane come in... And, of course, Daniel Bryan was still in the mix.
Yeah, that's true.
So he had a lot of fucking pokers in the fire. And as a result of that and how he projects his emotions, he's the one that had the most, besides Daniel Bryan, going on for him in this thing. And like you said, his work is always great. So that was really cool to see him enter, because at this point, again, I was dying inside. Although the Titus fall was keeping me alive. So yeah, next is Shane McMahon. And we get what we want out of Shane McMahon, I think. And that's shitty punches, cool-ass coast-to-coasts, and getting killed in some fucking fashion. Yeah. What's your impression of old Shane here?
It's Shane being Shane. And, Shane's always fun to watch. People like shitting on Shane, but I always enjoy watching him.
If you like Shane, then you'll like him in this Rumble. If you don't like Shane, then you're never going to like Shane.
It's pretty sad.
We like Shane.
I do want to say that it's pretty sad that Shane had the most painful bump in this entire event. the best one, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
I
don't know. Big Cass getting dropped on his head.
Or Titus Fall.
Titus
Fall. That's the best bump.
Titus falling, the best thing ever, period. Anyway, the next person was Shelton Benjamin. Didn't really do anything, so that's it. And at this point, this is when Big Cass comes in. And it becomes a big man show at this point because we still have Lashley in here. We still have Braun in here. And Big Cass is now being pushed as the big guy in SmackDown. And I was kind of afraid that certain things were going to happen. But our biggest fear was that the Daniel Bryan Cass feud is going to get pushed forward.
We're not fans of this feud.
Here's the thing. At this point, we're hoping that Daniel Bryan wins. And the way they're playing this whole thing out, it looked that way. Yeah. And it looked like he was going to be the underdog winner. He was going to be up against big motherfuckers, and he was going to somehow win. But we'll get to that. The next entrance, the final entrance was Jericho, and he took out Shelton Benjamin, which, had just come in.
We're going to get back to Cass, right?
Yes, we're getting here. At this point, right after Jericho takes out Shelton Benjamin, Cass is dropped on his head by Lashley. That's that move we told you about. And he's out for a while. Possibly because he got dropped in his fucking head.
Yeah.
So anyway, at this point, Braun Shane is going to do a coast to coast. And Braun goes up there on the apron, grabs him, and slams him, throws him really through the commentator's table. And that was the big bump that Shane took. And it looked really cool. And it's what we expect out of Shane.
Shane's definitely going to die an early death.
Yeah, somewhere along the way. Following this, Braun takes out Lashley. Not very spectacular takeout, but whatever. He also takes out Jericho. So Jericho coming in was wasted, basically. And he takes out Owens. So Braun is the big guy. Oh, wait. Cass is still in the mix. And at this point, anything can happen. We were expecting Bryan to take the win.
Yeah.
The way they were telling this thing, but the telltale sign that wasn't going to win was that he had beat Rey Mysterio's record. And I think that's what they were going to go with. That's the big thing he achieved here, which is not an achievement, because it's orchestrated. So you should go for something more emotional at this point. Anyway, Cass comes back into the mix at the point that Bryan is doing his damnedest to take out Braun Strowman, and it actually looks like he might tilt Strowman out of the ring, and that would have been great. It would have been great if he took out Strowman first and then took out Cass in some way. But no, Cass comes in and just unceremoniously dumps Bryan out.
Yep.
And that's it. And yes, I realize this feud is going on between them.
But it sucks.
The feud sucks. But even if it doesn't suck, this was your chance to really get Bryan over. And I know that sounds stupid because Bryan is over as fuck. But he's been out for so long. And the gloss is already coming off that. He's back. How about you recast him in that underdog thing because it's working?
Not only that, but he has a history with being screwed over at Rumbles.
Yeah. So, and in general, really.
Yeah, but especially at Rumbles.
This fucking shit, this was the worst, man. Especially for this stupid feud.
Yes. This feud sucks ass.
I'm in his shadow, and he's me when I was a kid, and I hate him. That's the stupidest fucking feud of all time.
Not only that, but I want to get back to Cass in this match. I know we glossed over him, but he was shit in this match.
He was botching like a motherfucker.
Freaking botches every second, dropping people. I blame him for over-oiling and Lashley not being able to hold him up. He is horrible. I don't know if it's ring rust or he just sucks without Enzo, but he is shit. I officially dislike Big Cass.
It can't be he sucks without Enzo because Enzo wasn't a very good wrestler and Cass was doing most of the work. The thing is, together as a unit,
they worked really well.
They made a whole.
Yeah.
Him by himself, even before he came back,
he wasn't great.
It was not good.
It was baffling how bad he was.
He was fucking terrible.
He was far and beyond the worst wrestler in this match. And freaking Sumi was in there.
Oh, man. Sumi happened.
Sumi was better than freaking Big Cass.
Titus was better, and he fucking slid 7,000 leagues under a ring.
He was dropping people. He was messing shit up. You couldn't even walk without falling.
It was
This guy sucks!
He was botched central, and it didn't look good. And he didn't even look menacing to top it all off.
And then he freaking gets Daniel Bryan out, and you just want to kill
Yeah.
everyone on Earth.
And the way he got him out again was very unceremonious, and it wasn't like a surprise he got him out. It was seriously, dude,
Yeah.
you could at least fight first and then get him out. Nothing.
It made it so much worse that he sucked so much ass in the event, and then he took out like one of the best wrestlers of all time.
Yeah.
Like it was like freaking a retarded 3-year-old drew a freaking picture, and freaking some badass artist that I can't think of right now. He like, you know what I mean? It's bad.
This bad analogy aside,
I'm too enraged to freaking think right now.
And here's the thing. At this point, I was super pissed off too. I was like, seriously, dude, this? Then the fear struck me. Oh my God, is Cass gonna win?
Yeah, I was. Woo.
Because I imagined that Bryan was gonna win. And I couldn't imagine why they would want Braun to win at this point. He's over as hell. He doesn't need to win.
Doesn't need it at all.
This win wouldn't get him anything. He doesn't have the underdog thing at all. He's a fucking huge monster. Daniel Bryan could have used this win. Braun doesn't need this win whatsoever. So I didn't imagine that was going to be what was going to happen. In fact, I told you I think Bryan's going to win, and it's going to be him against the big guys.
Yeah.
And that didn't happen. And I'm not unhappy that didn't happen. I'm unhappy the way it happened.
Yeah.
And that sucks. So thankfully, though, Cass didn't lock in the win. Braun does take him out, but it's kind of a catch-22. Again, Braun doesn't need it, and it kind of made Cass look weak. So what's the point of that?
Yeah.
Bryan should have won this shit.
The Cass was so shitty, dude.
Yeah, he was horrible. But anyway, Braun wins. It
was a thing.
The thing ends, and that's it. The best thing from this was
Sumi?
No, not Sumi. Thankfully, he fucking left immediately because he sucked. The best thing was Titus. Fucking
It really was.
The fall is gonna be the greatest moment in history. You mark my words. But that's just history, not even wrestling history, just history. Anyway, this was the Royal Rumble. It's a fucking thing that happened.
Definitely wasn't the greatest.
It was not good. It was not memorable. It was not the greatest. It was the shittiest, in fact, possibly.
So far this year, the worst event.
Yeah, definitely that. And just super predictable, super forgettable, and worst ending to a Rumble. Worst entrance in a Rumble. Everything about this was horrible, except for Titus falling on his fucking face, which is gold.
Number rating.
On a scale of 1 to 10, I give this a rating of 1.
Yeah.
10 for the Titus fall.
I was gonna
1
say,
for the event.
I was gonna say I'm gonna give it a 1, and the only reason it's not a 0 is because the Titus fall. That being said, the Titus fall alone, 10 trillion, because it was hilarious. But god damn, this event sucked massive ding.
It was the worst. It's gonna be hard to top this in the awful-o-meter. But anyway, if you haven't seen this, don't. Fast forward to the Titus fall, though.
Yeah, that's watch it. That on repeat.
That's the best thing. Anyway, this has been Ahab. That's the Goon Tick. We're the Wrestle Ramblers. Hit like, share, subscribe, and those notification buttons because we're out. Woo.